On Sunday evening, New York City experienced another wave of gun violence as three separate shootings unfolded across the Bronx and Queens, leaving one person dead and 6 others injured. What began as an ordinary late weekend evening quickly turned into a series of crime scenes that stretched police resources and left families shaken as investigators rushed to understand how the violence erupted so quickly and in so many places at once. The first incident happened in the Bronx just before 6 o'clock in the evening. Residents in the Crotona neighborhood reported hearing multiple gunshots echo through the streets, the kind of sharp cracks that people in some areas have unfortunately grown used to. Responding officers found a 25-year-old man with a gunshot wound to the head. Despite efforts from emergency medical services, he did not survive. Police cordoned off the block, looking for shell casings and witnesses, while neighbors stood behind the tape, some in shock, others quietly talking among themselves about how such violence could strike so early on a calm Sunday evening. The second incident occurred not long after the first, miles away in Whitestone, Queens. This time, 2 individuals, a 39-year-old man and a 49-year-old woman, were struck by gunfire. Both were rushed to the hospital and were described as stable, but the trauma of the moment was evident. Investigators say the 2 victims were standing outside during what appeared to be a normal social moment when the shooting happened. Details are still developing regarding the motive and whether the victims were targeted or hit by stray bullets. The area was quickly flooded with officers examining the scene under streetlights as residents attempted to process what had unfolded so suddenly. A third shooting took place later that same evening in another section of the Bronx, adding to the already strained response efforts. Additional victims from this incident were transported to local hospitals as police worked urgently to determine whether this shooting had any connection to the earlier ones, or whether the violence was unrelated but part of a troubling pattern emerging citywide. As of this time, authorities have not announced any arrests across any of these incidents, leaving all 3 investigations open and active. The pattern of violence across boroughs within such a short time frame underscores what many in New York have been feeling for months: concern over localized spikes in shootings, especially during weekends when more people are outside and tensions can escalate quickly. Police commanders often speak about how unpredictable these events can be. One shooting may be the result of a personal dispute, while another may stem from gang-related tensions, and yet another can be a random act carried out by someone with easy access to a firearm. But regardless of the motive, the impact is always the same: families devastated, communities shaken, and a city once again grappling with the heavy cost of gun violence. For investigators, the coming hours and days will be critical. Detectives will review surveillance footage, shell casings, and witness statements, hoping to connect pieces of evidence that can lead to suspects. In the Bronx case, where the young man was killed, police will focus on motives, whether he was intentionally targeted or if the attack was connected to ongoing disputes in the area. In Queens, investigators will determine whether the shooting was random, targeted, or the result of a confrontation that escalated. Police are also working to establish whether any of the shootings share similarities in weapon caliber, suspect descriptions, or timing that could suggest a link. For now, residents of these neighborhoods are left to cope with sleepless nights, shaken nerves, and the harsh reminder that violence can strike without warning. Families of the victims in the Bronx mourn the loss of a young man whose life ended violently and suddenly. The victims in Queens continue to recover, grateful to be alive but unsure why bullets were fired in the first place. Community members across the city are calling for stronger responses, more patrols in high-risk zones, and renewed conversations about preventing violent confrontations before they begin. As always, the true weight of these incidents is carried by the families who lose loved ones and by the communities that must wake up the next morning and walk past the scenes where violence unfolded. Police are urging anyone with information to come forward, stressing that even small details can help solve these cases and potentially prevent further violence. If you value factual crime reporting and want to stay informed on cases like this, Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.